Hello and good evening, everyone. We are coming to you live from California, and tonight with me is Jonathan Otto, one of the other semifinalists, checking out the competition tonight. Hello, Jonathan.
What's going on, sir?
There he is. We are streaming upside down, so we have reversed initiatives. With ones essentially acting as Initiative 6 and sixes acting as Initiative 1. Tonight we have Dyllan Fernandez with a droid mishmash. Late for me, hard to say words. Of course, it's later for you, right, Jonathan?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Over here on the East Coast, it's almost 1 a.m. at this point.
Perfect time for X-Wing.
Of course.
So on the left, we do have Dyllan with a bunch of different droids. Do you want to go through that list for us, John?
Sure. Dylan's list is definitely not one that I have wanted to play against for sure. And it's a variation of something that I thought about bringing, but I digress. We're going to start over here with the meat of his list and his DGS 047, which is his HMP gunship, with repulsive stabilizers, buzz droids with the Discord missiles, energy cell charges, Kraken shield upgrade, and season navigator. Really unique build with the season navigator, and being I6 in this format, he can pretty much side slip wherever he wants to go. It's like, oh, I don't want to go to the right. I'm just going to circle around you on the left. It's bananas. Then you're moving on to the Herachol prototype in the Vulture with energy shell charges, which lets him gain a calculate or target lock if an enemy is in the bullseye. And moving on to the Backplate prototype as a little bomber action. Unique interaction with the fact that he can ignore the focus requirement and the proton rockets as long as one of his other droids has a target lock on it. With fire control system, it's able to reroll. And moving on to DFS 311, which he's able to pass off calculate tokens with energy shell charges. And Gorgle with Predator and Afterburners. I'm assuming is going to be the speedy flanker.
And Gorgle also has some nice little support abilities, being able to repair his allied ships. So probably might be using him to do that, or he might just be using him as a essentially an I5 Nantex, which is also very spooky.
Very good.
On the other side, we have Cornerback, the reigning champion from the Squad Leader tournament earlier in our series. Second overall in Swiss, currently the only undefeated player in this tournament. He's running Sarko Plank, who is the I2 tugboat. While you defend, you may treat your agility value as equal to the speed of the maneuver you execute. So he can get a lot of greens if he wants. Has AT, P, and Deadman Switch. Also has Unkar Plet at the start of the engagement phase. If there are one or more other ships at range 0, you and each other ship at range 0 gain a tractor token. So Unkar is going to want to move in, hand out tractors, and get in the way. Inaldra is a Sikh. Is it Sikh or Sikh? I've heard both pronunciations.
I said Seek because of the SY, but I mean, everybody's potato.
Yeah, whatever. The M3A Interceptor.
Yeah.
While you defend or perform an attack, you may suffer a damage to reroll any number of dice. A bit of a suicide key there with auto blasters. Sunny Bowder, who basically when Sunny rolls dice, if they are all matching, you can add an additional matching result. Also with auto blasters. Nalum, also with auto blasters, who will be after he becomes a defender, can rotate his turret, must rotate his turret if the attacker is not in his turret indicator. Auto blasters helps him stay on target a little bit, nep the front. And Greedo, which is also nice for him since he is effectively an 6 here. And finally, we have Gargor, who is essentially an Initiative 7. After you defend, each other ship at range 0 suffers a crit also with auto blasters. So that is our list for the scum side for quarterback.
Better known as the ace of legend in this format.
Yeah.
Gargor has been like the one to beat, so to speak,
Yeah.
in this format. The
Step
I7.
Yeah, step aside here.
Move aside for the droid.
Yeah. Yeah. So looking at these lists, John, which one do you think has the edge? Just in composition.
Honestly, ship count, I just by sheer volume of ships, I would have to go cornerback. And the higher evade die chances overall. Um, Dyllan does have the Nantex to be able to flank, but overall the auto blasters hurt.
Yeah.
I the sheer efficiency of the ships that he's got, with especially with automated target priority on his quadra jets, that's just scary.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. Quarterback's looking pretty smooth right here between 3 green defense die on 3 of his ships against what is primarily 2 red die attacking him, with a couple exceptions from Dyllan's special weapons he has loaded on. It's going to be tough to punch through. It's going to be a little bit of a dance fest with all those greens, but we'll see what happens. It looks like cornerback has a total of 31 health on the board here, compared to Dyllan's, let's see here, 4, 7, 10, 15, 24 health. So cornerback has 7 more health on the board than Dyllan does. However, Dyllan is, for the most part, the ace faction in this case. So we'll see what he's able to do with this. Vultures are obviously known for being more effective in groups, and Dyllan only has 2 and a Techno-Union, well, not a Techno-Union bomber, but the factoid prototype. Should be interesting. We'll see how these go. I will say, looking at this... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, just looking at this as well, looking at Kraken specifically, and the fact that he can hold on to those charges is really going to help with this punching through with the energy shells, plus being able to pass them off with the DFS 311.
Yeah.
Like that, it's going to be about token management for Dyllan more than anything else.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he handles DGS 47. Dyllan was talking to me a little bit before the tournament started and kind of pitching ideas of what he was thinking about trying, and I was really excited to see this particular build on there, being able to side slip from pulsar lift stabilizers, and then on top of that being able to change his dial because of Seasoned Navigator on what's effectively an i6. It just sounds really nasty, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with that.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. I cannot do the whole side slip thing. Like, I tried, and every time I said it, I would forget. I would go in the opposite direction. It never worked for me.
Yeah, I've only had the chance to fly an HMP once. Wasn't a huge fan, but I haven't had a chance to really give it a try yet. When I did it, I was running the Geonosian prototype. I think that's what it's called, because it had cannons, and I wanted the one with the cannons.
Yep. Sync laser cannon.
Yep, exactly. I wanted to try those out, so that was the whole reason I ran it. Wasn't too excited about it, but again, I also wasn't really building a competitive list. It was more along the lines of I just want to try new goodies. So we'll see.
No, I did the same thing. I ran one with a list with 2 of the prototypes with sync laser cannons, and then just filled the list with other stuff, like mainly the Techno-Union bomber and I think a vulture.
Yeah.
And just because I wanted to sync laser cannons, and they did work pretty well, but I wasn't really able to take advantage of their ability, like spending the factor token on somebody for the rerolls.
I think it's one of those pilots you look at, and the reason you're taking it is for the initiative, or in this case, the upgrade slot, more so than the ability. I'm not sure if giving them an agility is worth re-rolling 2 dice. I mean, I guess you decide on the spot, but I don't think it's something you hold around so much as just a nice little extra that you have access to should you decide.
True. Speaking of, I'm wondering how many times Anoldra's ability has been triggered for cornerback. taking self damage in order to reroll.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, the rules of this particular tournament is you're not allowed to take generic, so I almost feel as if she might be there primarily just to give him an I-5 sick, as opposed to trying to take advantage of her ability.
True.
But maybe I'm sure it's probably I'm sure it's come in clutch at least once in one of his games.
I can imagine. I mean, he is undefeated, so
Yeah,
there's that.
yeah. He obviously knows what he's doing, so we'll see. What do you think of this obstacle layout? It's kind of interesting.
Very interesting. Very defined lanes,
Yeah,
and a lot of open space. I
yeah.
was expecting more congestion
Hmm.
to try and like throw off cornerback's approach,
Yeah,
but Dylan's got a lot of free space to be able to move stuff and keep his squad together. So
yeah, yeah. I'm interested to see how he makes this work. Looks like we are setting up our dials, and should be able to get started relatively soon.
yeah, you want to go ahead and flip the rulers.
And we do
Can't tell
have
you how many times I've forgotten that.
Yeah, we do have a couple people in chat. We have Ellis for the win and Ravenwing. Hello, fellas. Good evening. Ravenwing, I'm actually kind of surprised to see up because it's like 1 a.m. for him. And he is going to be in the Renegades tournament that's tomorrow. Starts at 9 his time, I believe. So, yeah.
See, he's well. I'm assuming East Coast as well. Then.
Yeah, he is. And he's on my team, so,
Oh no! You
hopefully,
better get some sleep.
yeah, hopefully he gets enough rest so that our team does well.
Reals. I just so wanted to play in the Renegades tournament, but like with just scheduling, I just wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah,
It does look like we're having some connection issues temporarily
yeah.
with
Well,
cornerback.
cornerback's over in Germany, so it's understandable that he might disconnect or have some issues here or there.
That.
God, don't you just hate it when you go to play with somebody or play a board game with somebody on the other side of the planet? There's internet issues. Maybe. Who'd have thunk?
Who'd have thunk? Who did I
Oh,
play? I can't remember. One of my matches also was another gentleman from Germany.
yeah,
Gosh, I can't remember now.
yeah.
The same thing was happening.
There's quite a few Germans in a lot of these online tournaments. They tend to all be pretty good. I don't think I've met anyone from Germany or Australia, for that matter, that wasn't really good at the game. I just go hardcore over there.
Hey, I'm all for it. And the fact that it's just such a universally loved game right
Oh
now,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
especially with the switch to Atomic Mass, like I'm hoping that love like continues and that they're able to continue to grow instead of pausing. But we'll see.
Yeah, I have high hopes. I think AMG is going to do a good job, and I think they deserve a chance to prove that they can do a good job. So I'm looking forward to what they put out.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure that we won't hear much from them until next year. I mean, between the transitionary period and also being the holidays, I can't imagine they're going to get a lot done over the next couple months. But starting next year, maybe late January, February, might start hearing something out of them. So I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it as well. I mean, they seem to have done a really great job with Marvel Crisis Protocol. So
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I'm just hoping, like the one thing, and I don't know how a lot of people feel about this, but one of the main reasons as to why I love X-wing, and hope to eventually get into like say Armada, but the fact that you don't have to paint or assemble the minis.
Oh yeah, it's so nice.
It's so convenient.
Yeah, and I
Because I had,
go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, because I had friends that would play Warhammer,
Yeah,
and like the amount of time it took them to get the models where they wanted them. Like I would hear nothing but, "Oh, I gotta go home and paint my minis." Like, "Oh, I gotta go home and I have to prime them so I can go paint them the next day." Like it did. It
Yeah.
was like madness.
Yeah. If you, yeah, I actually played Warhammer for a while, and the vast majority of my minis are unpainted because building them was fun. Modding them and customizing them to be unique was fun, but the painting I just couldn't get into it. And I really do love the fact that Armada and X-wing you don't have to. I mean, you still can, and I do have some painted, and I have repainted some of them myself, but you don't have to, and they still look nice. So I'm that's something I definitely do love. Looks like we're about to get started.
Looks like it.
And our timer has
Here we
started.
go.
So I'm thinking here, looking at their formations. Dyllan, I mean, obviously wants to keep his stuff close together so he can do as much token sharing as he can. And it does look like he's going with what you were saying earlier about Gorgol being a flanker.
Yeah.
I mean, cornerback's undefeated again in this tournament, so he knows what he's doing. I don't know necessarily why he decided to split up his forces in this way.
I think it's just to take advantage of the lanes. And then with this formation that cornerback's going right now, this is kind of like pre-positioning knowledge because no matter which direction Dyllan decides to, which lane he turns down, he can then converge. Like the Sikhs are agile enough to be able to turn on a dime if they have to.
Yeah.
And of course, Namlam, I mean, with the Jump Master lining up in the bottom right corner is just what you do with those ships.
Yeah.
So, Greedo is going to suck for Dyllan.
Yeah, that was something Dyllan was really struggling with when we were talking to him earlier before we started the stream, is he didn't know whether he wanted to go first or second. Because he wanted to take advantage of essentially being an ace, but at the same time he didn't know if he wanted Greedo to trigger, especially since only one of his ships have shields. Crits are really nasty on against his list, so we'll see. He did opt to go second, so he is playing a bunch of ace platforms essentially, with only Gargor having perfect information when he moves. So we'll see what all this entails.
I was really tempted in my list to put auto blasters on Gargor as well, but the tractor beam in my list it just is too much utility.
Yeah. Well, tractor beam is really nice on the on Gargor being able to fire first and get the benefit for everybody else in your list is a good decision. Yeah, are you you were talking earlier? It seems like you were a little more afraid of having to potentially face cornerback's list.
Yes, and the reason being is those quadrajets. I'm okay at flying them myself, but playing against them, I have not had great success.
Yeah.
Once they clog up a lane with that tractor array, there's just not much you can do.
Yeah, I have. There's a guy over on my LGS that liked bringing quadrajets with DMS and then running them alongside Palab. And it wasn't even like a hard-hitting list. It was very much a death by 1,000 cuts. But basically, you just fly up with the quadrajets, block up your lane, and throw you on rocks. And then Palab would take any tokens, so all of your shots were just, the mods are just bad. So it was more of a frustrating list to deal with, more so than it's just a list that outright beats you. But yeah, I understand the difficulties of flying against multiple quadrajets.
That was kind of how I felt against Jeremy's list and Palab. I was like, oh yeah, I get a token. Wait, nope, no I don't.
Yeah, Palab always feels bad when you... Oh, hey, I got a focus. Oh, wait, no, just
No,
kidding.
no, no.
I just improved your action economy. Just kidding.
Yeah, and the fact that he had Lando on it too, it's like, oh, let me just steal a token so I can just spend it for Lando. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, it's very annoying. Yeah,
such a brutal combo.
my the guy at my LGS runs L3 and Palab, so he'll steal your focus, and so you never get to mod your dice. But then the time that you finally get to roll just a solid natural roll, he'll spend L3 and make you re-roll it. So so it just
Like,
it just feels bad.
Sheesh.
It's very much a troll build. But
Hey,
he thought
if
it was
it works,
funny.
it works.
Yeah, exactly.
And oh, it looks like are we flipping stabilizers here,
Nope, that's face up.
or prep two?
Yeah. Yeah, side slip
So
is
I'm
an
wondering how
interesting.
fast Dyllan goes here.
I think that. I almost feel like it would benefit Dyllan to just come in hard and fast and try to snipe one of the. Try to snipe red. Sarcoplank. Like, because I feel like cornerback's anticipating Dyllan to slow roll, and I don't think it benefits Dyllan to slow roll. Like, because that's going to allow cornerback to converge in on him. Where if he rushes in fast, he could maybe snipe Sarko off before the real engagement happens.
And you really want to try and get it off at distance so that you don't have to deal with that
Yeah.
exploding suicide bomb.
Yeah, exactly. And the tractor tokens and all that. I'm fully anticipating Gorgol to come in hard here.
I'd say probably a 3-turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even a bank.
I'm expecting...
Actually, a bank might be safe too, because then it allows him to play a little bit more with his turret if he needs to.
Oh, that's true as far as lining up the bullseye.
Yeah, lining up the bullseye or setting up the turret, because right now his turret's facing forward. So if he does a 3-turn and he chooses to tractor, he won't be able to shoot forward with it. But I do think that we're going to see the first shots here at the end of this next turn.
Agreed. Let's see. I got to play a random match, a little jank tank with Samuel last night, and I was given Separatist, and I was like, all right, like I know I'm gonna get put with an infiltrator, and no, I didn't get put with one, I got two. I was like, what is going on? I got I think actually was the Initiative 3 Nantex and 2 infiltrators.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my word, what am I gonna do with those?
Yeah, I've flown the infiltrator a couple times. I'm actually kind of amazed at the dial it has. For a large base, it has a really, really amazing dial.
It really does have a great dial.
Yeah.
Between that and the Shadowcaster, they're great large base dials.
Yeah. I'm an Imperial main. That's my faction. So, and I don't like the Decimator. So, most of my experience with large bases is the Lambda, and the Lambda has a terrible dial, awful dial. So it's always fun to take once in a while and play with, like the Infiltrator, for example, where you can actually move with a large base. It's so different, or the Falcon or anything like that. But the Lambda is just
funny because the Lambda style is beyond terrible.
It has to be the worst one in
economy.
The yeah.
Oh, I don't know. When 2.0 released, they did a pretty good job with trying to make the Jump Master as crappy as possible. Like,
it's true.
The 1.0 menace, they're like, oh nope, no more.
Yep, I think if we see that that 3 turn out of Gorgle here, I think he can tractor into Bullseye.
Oh, let me see. And Aldra already turning in. Nom probably doing a 3-bank too.
Yep, I think Cornerback was probably anticipating the rush like I was suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
There's the turn. Oh yeah, get that Bullseye. I mean, if he takes the tractor to the right, absolutely has Bullseye.
100%.
Probably
And
go
3-die shot into...
Yep. And then take that focus. Wonder if he's considering afterburners. So I think afterburners.
To try and get into range 1.
Yeah, because I think an afterburner put him in a Bullseye too. But I don't feel like this
banking is right.
Yeah, I don't think that's worthwhile here. Yeah, he's just gonna tractor. This sets him up in a better position for next turn, so Sarko won't be able to just fly straight up to him and tractor him on a rock or something. Yeah,
I'm almost wondering if he should have just if he afterburners forward and then tractored right.
He could have. That also was a viable option. I mean, the big thing you got to remember with the afterburners is if he only able to use it twice, and he ever wants to do any turnarounds or anything like that, that afterburners can be a lifesaver in giving him the Bullseye.
That's also true. Well, yep. Here's that kill box forming.
Yep. And unfortunately, I think Dyllan is set up that he's going to have to go into it in one form or another. Maybe not this turn, but next turn.
I'm really surprised he didn't put struts on his droids.
I think he wanted to have the bid for DGS. That's my belief, anyway.
And
I think he
get it, but he was at what, 191?
Yeah, so he has a 9-point bid. I think he would have been fine with it. Yeah, I think he would have been fine at 190 or with a 6-point bid, but he didn't. And he's in cut, so who am I to say?
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I do think Dyllan's gonna have a really hard time in this match, though. This is looking like some really scary positioning for him.
I'm really hoping he didn't just rush. Well, I guess he kind of has to rush at this point.
We're getting a barrel roll out of Nom. Probably moving over so that he can set up better for the next turn movement. Oh, it's turning left or turning right that the jump master has a hard time with. It's turning right, right?
Yeah, jump masters don't like turning to the right.
Okay.
That's stressful.
Okay. So they're NASCAR. Gotcha.
Yes. You know what? That's a great analogy. Jump masters are NASCAR. They like turning left.
Just in range for that lock. Very well done. Yeah, he's going to dump it all into Sarko. He's going to try to snipe him.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I don't know if he's going to be able to kill him this turn. It's going to be tough because I don't think Red's going to have range. Well, it doesn't look like the Bomber's going to have range either. Yeah, so he's just going to get 2 shots off on Sarko. Unfortunately, that does mean Sarko's going to have plenty of opportunity here to rush up as fast as possible, hand him a tractor, and then just gum up all of his movement options, on top of being able to put a DMS right in the middle of his formation.
Mm-hmm. And that's beyond terrible with no shields.
Yeah.
So that's going to be...
Dyllan's a fantastic player. I've played multiple games with him. His positioning right now, I'm very nervous for him. Now, granted, he is at range 3 and he has plenty of tokens to pass around, so he's not too worried about that. But the next couple turns are going to feel bad.
Yeah, the next couple turns are really going to... I feel like in the next, couple of engagements would be pretty much the deciding factors because
Yeah.
There was a firefight.
Yep. Not going to be a lot of shots here. It looks like it's probably just going to be Sarko, Gorgol, and DFS 311.
In yellow. Mm-hmm.
Gorgol should actually be firing here. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Never mind. I'm going backwards.
It looks like
here.
energy shell charges.
Ooh, spicy. So we got
That'll at least one confirmed. Oh, he probably spends it.
Oh, absolutely.
Taking one. Yep.
Silly me, I'm already getting my initiatives mixed up. I've done this every single time we've streamed this format. I always get it backwards. I'm so ingrained. Which is sad.
Backwards.
Yeah, well, yeah. Which is kind of sad though, because when you shoot, you're literally just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's in order.
Doesn't make it any easier.
No. Got 2 shots going into 3 with lots and lots of mods. I don't think we're going to see any damage here.
I don't think so either. Worst comes to worst, he can be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to keep my token and just spend yours.
Just 1. Got to blank out for anything to happen here. No, we're going to roll natties.
We're good. Yahtzee.
Spending those natties early.
God, I hope that's not the case.
Yep. Now here comes the shot that Dyllan really wants to have do something here.
Good. It's got a punch.
Oh, we do have another shot. Again, range 3, 2 dice.
That one.
2 hits. That's a solid roll. Could see some damage here.
Solid roll.
And we are gonna see 1 damage into yellow.
Got 1 through.
Pretty unfortunate there. Yeah, you'd hope.
Yeah, Dyllan, it needs to save points.
Yeah.
Like whenever he can, for sure.
Yeah, I'm very, very nervous for Dyllan in this game. This is not a matchup in his favor.
No.
He needs this shot to do well. Hit crit, that's not bad. Has a predator, that's 2 hits and a crit. Pretty solid.
It goes through for sure.
Yeah, and it all goes through.
If this is direct hit, then... Yep.
Fuel leak. The nothing.
Fuel leak.
That feels bad.
So he still has a chance to rush in and DMS the squad.
Yeah. It always feels bad when that last damage card is a fuel leak. Or with only 1 hole left,
it's like, why bother?
Yeah. Like the nothing crit. And if he lucked out with Sarko's defense roll that first shot, if he hadn't gotten that one, or the 2 eyeballs, he would have been in for some pain.
That'd be a dead jet.
That's really unfortunate for Dyllan. He really needed that kill.
Yeah, he did. He needed it to clear it and to give himself a better position to not have a DMS rush in.
Yeah. Now this is this coming turn I'm very interested in. I don't think Dyllan has a lot of maneuver space here. Because I think Sarko's going to be rushing straight up just as fast as possible. Gum up their movement. Expecting probably a 2 or 3 bank to the left from Gorgol here.
I think he's probably going to do a 2 just to stay safe and to give him room to tracker if he has to.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. However, if he goes 3, then
he goes in too far.
Yeah. But if he does 3, he also has the option to afterburner if he wants to. And I believe...
It's true, but how close does he want to get to a dead man switch potential?
Fair enough.
That's all about... Yep. I think right now Dyllan just has to worry about the dead man switch.
Yep.
Make sure that he doesn't take that on all of his ships.
Yeah. Now, something to keep in mind though is the afterburners and the tractor move for the Nantex have the same timing window, so he can do those in whatever order he wants.
That is pretty convenient.
So he could just come, straight ahead, tractor, and then boost. Get behind him, actually.
It's not bad at all.
Now, do you expect to see anything funky from DGS 047 this turn, or you think he's just going to follow in the rest of the droids here?
I think he's just going to follow in for support. Unless he does like a one bank left, just try and position repulsors against maybe Nam, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of. He still needs this action. Actually, you know what? He may actually just follow suit to try and throw the discords.
That's true. That would actually be really solid here. I mean, break up the formation a little bit. Everything has a barrel roll, so everything would be able to escape it. But a free damage is a free damage.
And if he can land the buzz on yellow, was it Unkar? I mean, that's an automatic crit onto no shields, so.
Now something okay. Factoid prototype ignores the focus requirement. I was about to say, it's like he put prockets on there. That's interesting. But yeah, Bactoid with the prockets is definitely something that cornerback will have to watch out for. That has the potential to one shot anything but Nomlum. Unlikely, but possible.
Very true, very true. The list that I played against also had a prototype, and they ran barrage rockets.
That's also a solid
two
choice.
HMP gunships. It was such a hard list, and that you know what? That was my only loss in Swiss. Was to that list. I lost by 5 points.
Wow.
And it's because I could not kill a tractored vulture. I had every opportunity,
Yeah, that was
and
just
I
bad.
just could not. I could not roll paint to save anything.
I have had games like that. There was this one game I played. I run Fen Garrett fairly often. One of my more favorite skills to fly competitively. I had an outmaneuvered, double-modded AT shot in the Luke Skywalker. So, he's rolling one green against 5 double-modded reds. And I did no damage.
Oh.
Just rolled. I rolled all blanks, spent the lock, re-rolled, got 4 blanks in an eyeball, spent the focus, so it's 1 crit, and then he rolled a natty. It's like, son of a gun.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even know what to do at that point, just accept, sometimes the dice say no.
The variance says no.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this turn. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a lot of hate and discontent. Something cornerback does have to be careful of here is de-messing his own ships. While he can afford to take it once, twice, I don't think it'd be a good idea. In a war of attrition, he's going to win. He just has more health than Dyllan does. But
the question is, yeah,
he still doesn't want to hurt himself. So I'm expecting both Sarko and Unkar to come in hard, and then the 6 kind of trailing behind a little.
Yep, there goes the 3.
There.
So I'm wondering if he just tries the tractor or if he barrel rolls. Oh, no, focus.
I don't think he's close enough to tractor. You have to be range 1 for that?
1. I'm worried if he moved Unkar too close and is he one banged.
Yep, that sets him up right for a bullseye. He doesn't even have to do anything. He'll just sit there, take a focus. I'm hoping for Dyllan's sake that he did like a hard one or something with the vultures.
Yeah, it's a hard one down, like towards Nam.
Yeah, that would get him out of range, and then hopefully Gorgol would be able to just get rid of Sarko, and actually probably do some damage on Unkar and maybe even Sunny. Sunny's a bit of a stretch, but I do think he has Unkar.
I think he does have Unkar.
Ooh, spicy.
Talk about the spice. The cool